money, right? So internal investment. And also, I asked my dad, well, what can I do? I don't want to just do rent tables and chairs all my life. What can I do? He's like, well, I don't know. What can you do? It's like, well, you can cut the grass, you can wash cars. I'm like, okay, I can wash cars. So I started a little side gig in the garage and started washing cars around the neighborhood, making $20. Washing it, buffing it, and I was like already 16 years old, and guess what? And that actually paid me for my first car, and it was pretty cool. So I was in high school with the first car, and I was cool because, I was like 16 years old with a car, and, hopefully you guys can get a better car than I did. Of course, I started with a little Ford F-150, and then from there just grew for Focus and other cars as well. But don't forget, there's plenty of opportunity out there, and how can you take advantage of opportunities? You gotta take the risk, right? Same goes with martial arts. You gotta take the risk. Everyone starts as day one to now, from a white belt to, of course, becoming a black belt one day. But today we have a guest speaker, okay? He's going to be coming in talking about some knowledge, drop up some bombs, how he started his entrepreneurship. Okay, he is the CEO and from Freedom Home Loans, also the area director from Liberty Tax Franchise. He's also the CEO from Freedom Financial Center, studied under Grant Cardone Sales Training University, and Anthony Robbins. He's also from Rio Hondo, Rio Grande native as well. Big round of applause for Mr. David Perez. Good job. Thank you, sir, for coming in today.
Maybe, can y'all hear me? Maybe I should use the mic. Thank you. Let's see how this works. How's everybody today?
Good. Well.
This is cool. I feel like Tony Robbins right now. All right, so I'm going to be very honest with you really quickly. I don't speak a lot to young adults or children, so this is very new to me. One of the different things for me. First off, I want to recognize somebody who's here today with me. I want to recognize my beautiful fiance. We get married in 2 weeks. Can we give her a round of applause? All right, so I'm going to share with you some thoughts about entrepreneurship, because over the course of my lifetime, I've had to learn a lot of skills that have really positioned me to be a successful entrepreneur. Now, that doesn't mean I'm at the level that I want to be, but that just means every day I have to get better and better. So I'm going to share with you a few tips that have helped me, and hopefully they'll help inspire you. So what I do is I help solve problems, very big problems, very complex problems. For you adults, I help solve the financial struggles of life. What I do is I help people understand complex strategies, like really complex things. Like, do you know what a complex math problem looks like? Like algebra, or what would be else complicated? Y'all haven't what's that? Statistics. We find, and what I do is I help get those problems and make them really simple to understand for people, for adults. That's what I do on an everyday basis, from taxes. Those are the things you're going to have to pay as adults, just so you know. And kids still pay them too. Every time you go to that counter, you're paying taxes. I help find people loan options, retirement options, so when you get older and you plan to actually go on vacation all day, right? Parents, you all want to do that someday, just go on vacation forever. Well, those are the things that I help do. So I help solve problems, and my business is called Liberty Tax. My number one business is called Liberty Tax, and what we do is we do tax returns for people all over the country. But in the Rio Grande Valley, I've got 8 stores, and what I do is we prepare taxes for thousands of people. I've also got an insurance company which helps protect people from losing things. If y'all ever lost something, right? If you're in a car accident, or if you're out in the streets and something happens to you, if you get sick, all those things are called insurance. What I do is I help people solve that problem by providing them coverage that they need. We also do home loans, which helps people get their dream, the American dream. What's the American dream? To own a home. We help do that as well. I've done this for the majority of my life, and over the last 10 or 12 years, I've picked up some skills, so I'm going to share those skills with you as what we've done. So if you're aspiring to be an entrepreneur, here's the number one rule you all have to learn, children. It is, you have to learn to solve problems. Great entrepreneurs solve problems. So what that means is, whenever there's a problem, that's when somebody like you has to step up and say, hey, this is the problem and I can help solve it. So great entrepreneurs are problem solvers. And from the day that I got into business, I remember thinking, well, people want to have somebody explain something to them in a simple way. So I took something really complex like taxes and insurance, and I said, let me explain it to somebody in a simple way in hopes that I can help them understand it and they would do business with me. I found a problem and I solved it. Now here's the key. The bigger the problem, the more business you can have. That's what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs find problems and they solve them, and that's how they get paid, right? Some of you guys want to make a lot of money someday, right? Yes? That's why you're here, right? You said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Can I give you guys a round of applause for being entrepreneurs? So when you look at your projects, the presentations you're going to give today, you have to find, does it solve a problem, and does it solve a big problem? The bigger the problem, the more money and opportunity you can make. That's the number one rule I found. Number one rule. Number two, entrepreneurs are great listeners. Great listeners. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a business owner, you have to listen. And you have to listen to the right people. Let me tell you, the best entrepreneurs find somebody who knows something about what they're trying to teach or trying to explain or trying to sell, and then they learn from them. They learn from somebody who's like, kind of like a master. Do y'all know a master around here? No? Master Eric? So, you go to Master Eric to learn what? Karate. Why do you go to him? Because he's the best, right? That's right. Can we give him a round of applause? So, great entrepreneurs listen and they follow instructions. They learn from others, but not everyone. You have to be very selective. You can't just learn from anybody. You got to learn from a master. That's what great entrepreneurs do. Great business owners find somebody who knows a lot about what they want to know, and they learn from them. So if you're thinking about becoming a business owner one day, that's probably one of the highest levels of entrepreneurship, being able to say, I need help and I want to learn from you. And I encourage you to continue to learn from great entrepreneurs like Master Eric. And the last thing that I think most entrepreneurs have to do is get attention. How many of you all like attention? Raise your hand if you like attention, right?
All day, every day.
That's right. The louder you are, the more attention you get, right? My fiance over here seems to think that I'm very loud. I may not need this sometimes. I speak very loud and I'm a very loud person, but that isn't intentional. That's just who I am. But great entrepreneurs, great business owners have to get attention. And if you look around you, in all businesses, every business that you shop at today, anytime you give your money away, everybody gives their money away. Every time you give it away, it's probably the one that gives the most attention, right? You don't have to have the best ideas or the best products. You just have to have the most attention. For an example, across the street, there's a restaurant that we like to shop at, just here to the left. What is it? Or it's a restaurant. What is it?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Now, you would think that their mascot would be a what? A chicken. Why isn't it a chicken? It's a cow. Why is it a cow? You know why? Because it gets attention, right? Mm-hmm. They want attention. Every business who wants to be successful, every owner, has to get a lot of attention. So they have to find ways to get attention. In our business, we have a mascot called Lady Liberty. And most of you have seen it. You may not think about it, but we have them on the corners of most areas across the Rio Grande Valley. And actually, during the tax season between January and April, we have about 35,000 people on the streets holding a sign waving across all over the country. That's called getting attention. The more attention that you get as an entrepreneur, the more you will be successful. So the three secrets or the three keys here are what? Number one is what? Do y'all remember? Y'all know what number one was? Find a problem and solve it. Be a great problem solver. Number two, listen. Somebody listens over here. I like it. You have to be a very good listener. Listen to somebody, especially a master, somebody who's an expert. And number three, get attention. When I first got into business, which was about 12 years ago, I didn't realize that the attention was the most important thing to me. Like Master Eric, I thought about doing something entrepreneurial, owning my own business one day, but I didn't know what or I didn't know how. What I did is I worked really hard to get, just to be me. I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do, and some of the things that I see here is really inspiring because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I learned I wanted to be an entrepreneur in my mid-20s. You guys are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you're learning this right now. This is impressive. When I was in my mid-20s, I figured out what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to own my own business. But it really wasn't because I wanted to make a ton of money or solve problems or be a good listener like I'm teaching you now. I didn't know those things. What I knew, what I wanted was freedom. I wanted to be able to help others, but I wanted to be able to do it at my own time, at my own leisure. But I also wanted to inspire others to do the same. So in my mid-20s, when I did this, I didn't realize what I was setting myself onto, which was trying to get attention. In my mid-20s, I got the attention of a gentleman who believed in me. He said, "David, I think you've got something special, and I think that you know what you're going to do in life." And I said, I don't think you're seeing the same guy, right? I think you're seeing something in me that I don't. He gave me an opportunity to open a business with him that I never would have had. I came from very humble beginnings. I didn't have a lot of money as a child. In fact, we lived in a very poor home. My parents were very hard workers, but we didn't have money. I didn't have anybody to invest in me. I didn't have anything given to me in life, really. I'll be honest with you. In most cases, I mean, y'all are looking at me today and you see this white hair and this white skin. Well, I was made fun of all my life. I was told really that I was going to amount to nothing. As a young adult, when I got into my teens and my early 20s, I thought that most of the time, but I knew I could maybe do something one day. A gentleman believed in me in my mid-20s and invested in me 100%, said, "I believe in you." And I don't know how that worked out, but he did. And it turned out that his belief in me really inspired me to do more. And now we help so many people across this Rio Grande Valley, across this area, literally thousands of people. I've been blessed beyond imagine because I've become a business owner. I've been able to help so many people. We've not only helped people by doing their taxes or insurance or planning for their mortgage or getting the home that they deserve, but also we've started a nonprofit organization that feeds families during the Thanksgiving holiday. Last year we fed 2,500 families right here in the Rio Grande Valley during Thanksgiving, not because we're trying to feed the hungry, but because we believe that celebrating Thanksgiving with your family over a meal is very important. Because I believe that community or family is very important to me and to a lot of people around here. Being a business owner has let me do that, guys. Now, paying back everything that I was given, I'm continuing to do, but here's what I want to leave you with. The last part about getting attention is so important to me now because if I wouldn't have gotten the attention of one individual in my mid-20s, I wouldn't be here today. If I didn't stand out, so this blessing of having white hair and white skin, it was actually a blessing. I stood out. I stood out. Somebody noticed me. Now today, I work really hard on standing out. And that's actually how Master Eric and I met, right? We stand out on social media quite often. But we do that because, well, I want to inspire others like you guys to be successful. I see the next generation of children, which is you guys, or young adults, who are really going to do some great things. And I think you're in the right place being here today, studying with Master Eric, being part of Premier Martial Arts. I think this is the first step in becoming the next, whatever it is you want to be, because you're going to be problem solvers, you're going to be great listeners, and you're going to get tremendous attention. I want to say thank you, Master Eric. I want to say thank you to all of you for letting me speak here today. This was probably really tough. It was more tough for me than it was for you, I promise. If you've heard me speak, I sometimes don't have the best language and things, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man.